What's going on, Vikes? I'm Aaron McGill. In today's show, our principal answers your questions about the future of our school, a social media update about what all of you are doing over break, and Elias and Chase show us what they're doing for break.
We are making stories by teens, for teens. Creating a platform, finding character, and giving others a voice. This is SVTV.
As we've now spent our first week out of school, some of us might be anxious to start learning again. I caught up with our principal, Mr. Monahan, to see what the future of learning will look like at Sigma High School. Hi, Vikes. I'm with our principal, Mike Monahan, here. And so, Mr. Monahan, can I just have you give like an update about what's going on right now? You know, what events have happened and stuff like that?
So regarding teaching and learning, in our plan there, this week we've been developing our plan and what that looks like in terms of expectations of our teachers and of our students and of our parents, our administrators, our counselors, and so forth. So we developed that plan. Yesterday we received a plan from the state. And so this morning we've been working with our department chairs to integrate those two plans into our final plan to deliver instruction to our students. Some of our teachers have already reached out to their students and had some Google Hangouts and some really cool things that way and sort of setting the stage, but that's really helpful in a lot of ways, and we'll talk maybe more about that in a minute. So what we expect next week to look like is that it will be sort of a soft opening. They use that term in business a lot, where a few classes will begin to unfold. And then what we'll look at is the week of the 30th being ready to go with education to all of our students and providing support and resources and that type of thing. So we feel like we're in a really good place in teaching and learning because of Schoology, because of the IMAX. Students are familiar with technology and so are faculty. And so we know that we're going to be able to deliver the important outcomes that we want, the things that we want students to know and to be able to do. And then we'll be able to scope and sequence that as well, given the time frame. We're still shooting for May 20th as being the final day for instruction. And then also the assessment practices that the teachers will use to assess the teaching and learning. Grades will be on, Schoology as a resource to check, your assessments and how you're doing in a class. And then at the end of the semester, they will come together and they will come up with resources, and the final grades will be parked into PowerSchool. But our hope is to be able to reach out and connect to students. We miss you guys, and we know that you're missing your teachers too. And so something like FaceTime, but we're going to use Google Hangout. That's going to be the one that we're going to use. It's very, simple to use, and so we'll be doing a lot of that so that we can connect, and we want to continue those relationships. And then we want you to learn the important outcomes, and we want you to be relaxed and realize that this is evolving. It's sort of on the fly, and we have your best interests at heart as far as finishing up your coursework for this remainder of the year.
So you had said that how teaching online will start on March 30th. What will that look like in a way? Do you guys have any idea?
Yeah, it's going to look very much like the Schoology resources that we're currently been using and you're so familiar with. So it will be Schoology, each class. We're still thinking about keeping odd even. That way a student has 4 classes a day rather than 8 to be concerned with. We envision that teachers will have sort of office hours or hangout hours where students could reach out if they had specific questions. But our teachers will just deliver those, that day for those 4 subjects. Students can check in and then work on their projects or assignments, beyond that.
So you had said how PowerSchool grades and Schoology grades will be different, or how will that work?
Yeah, so Schoology is where you can keep updated with how you're progressing this semester, right?
For the fourth quarter?
For the fourth quarter. Then we're not going to post the final grade until the end of the school year because we want to take a look at the third quarter grade, the fourth quarter, balance all of that in, and make the best decision for the final grade for both 9 weeks for that semester grade, and that will be done like it always has been at the end. So we're not going to be syncing with PowerSchool along the way like we have been. Schoology is going to be a checkup place to see if your assessments are being posted and that type of thing, and how you've done on those.
Okay, so the teacher will determine. So there will be a grade in Schoology, but the teacher will determine which one.
Along the way, like say you completed a quiz, that grade will be there. You complete a project, that grade will be there, just so that you and also parents can check and see how you're doing. But we're going to hold off on syncing with PowerSchool until the very end of the semester.
So we should still plan on ending the school year on, what was it, May 20th, I believe?
Correct. That's the plan, is the school year will end on May 20th.
Okay. My next question is, what about all these? Obviously I'm a senior. What about all these senior activities like graduation, prom, all those other things? What will happen with all those?
Yeah, so we have several options there that we're exploring because we realize how important those events are to our students. So just know that we are busily working on a plan, and then that should unfold pretty soon with what our plan is there. But we definitely would want to provide those opportunities. Last night, Dr. Noble spoke at the board meeting, and he said for certain we're going to do some sort of event around graduation, but those dates could be delayed a bit or postponed a bit.
Okay, so what about getting back to a little the teaching and learning? What about all the students that are in dual enrollment classes, AP classes? How would those look?
That's a fantastic question. And so Washburn University is really busy right now working with our CEP teachers to offer the courses in an online fashion that will be supported by our teachers. Washburn Tech the same way, and I know that Washburn Tech is reaching out to our Washburn Tech students with what their plan is, and they're going to get more information on Monday, so that's taking shape. AP classes, they're talking about having AP classes. Those final exams would be online driven. Our SUMA students are still on track for SUMA, so we are looking at those unique circumstances and making sure that our teaching and learning continues with the dual credit and Washburn Tech and AP as well.
So you had said how we might have keep the odd even schedule, but how would the daily schedule look like for classes wise? Will times be different, or will we actually have an 8-hour day online?
Yeah, I would not imagine that it would be an 8-hour day online. I would imagine what we have so far talked about, and yet this is yet to come out to students and to families, but maybe the 30 minutes of delivering instruction and interacting with students, and then the rest of the time is to work on your projects or assignments, and then there'd be a time where you then would go to your next hour for the same type of thing. Some teachers might, let's say that this was a day or a week in which you met Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some teachers might post several things for a student to do and then check in times with them during the week and then assess the learning at the end of the week. So what we know is our teachers are the true experts in that each subject is a little bit different. For example, PE looks different than science, and we know that they're capable of developing the lessons, delivering them in the online fashion that we talked about, and scope and sequence too, as far as when they're due and that type of thing, what the outcomes are, and then how to assess those outcomes, which could look different. Some assessments might be written, some might be automatically graded that give immediate feedback as a part of the Schoology that you're already familiar with, that type of thing. So it really isn't going to look a lot different in terms of the outcomes and expectations and the way in which things will be assessed. We're just going to do that in an online fashion. But I love the fact that we're going to be able to interact through Google Hangout and that type of thing.
Okay, so I know you had talked about how we're going to be able to use online resources, stuff like that. Especially that'll work well for the core classes and stuff like that. But what about all the elective classes, like like you said, PE and art and band, and
right?
What will that look like?
So the PE is really nice because they've got a national curriculum, and there's several choices that a student could decide if they're going to go for a walk this day or a bike ride, or they're going to do some form of exercise, and then they would record it in a log, for example. And then each of the courses, let's use Woods as an example. I was talking with Mr. Tomanik, and what Mr. Tomanik is going to do is look at what projects he can get out to students and what phase they are in to be able to finish them up, maybe from home type of thing. So that does bring another question that a lot of people would like to know the answer to is, well, how am I going to get my band instrument, or how am I going to get my art supplies? How am I going to get the things out of my PE locker, for example? And what we're going to do is have each individual teacher reach out, maybe with a Google Sheet, and tell us what it is that you need, maybe the bare essentials for now, and then we'll round up everybody's items. Maybe they have 3 different things from 3 different areas, and then we would envision having a sign-up list, maybe like when we sign up through PowerSchool for our parent-teacher conferences. Maybe that's the time that you're scheduled to come to the bus loop and pick your stuff up. I mean, that's sort of what we're looking at and talking about now. We'll unfold that plan next week in greater detail, but we recognize that it's important to get, essential items back, to our students without them entering the building during this time where we're not allowed to do that.
So, is there, I don't know how I should ask this, but is there the plan is to just have school will not resume at all for the rest of the semester, I believe, is what
that is true. Through May 29th, schools are closed. That's right.
Okay. So I believe my final question is, this is really important. I know it's not May yet, but will there be finals?
Yeah, so the way that they will be assessed, students will along the way, and of course finals can be delivered as written assessments as well as be online. So that, I think, is what you'll see the finals looking at. And again, when you're developing classes or online classes, you really begin with what are the outcomes or goals, what are the things that you want students to know and be able to do, right? And so they'll assess those along the way, and they will assess them with the type of a final type of an assessment, which makes sense certainly under these circumstances.
Okay, so that's all the time I have. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, I would just like to say I hope that you're all doing well. These are challenging times, but within these times are also opportunities. This gift of time that we all have, how are we going to use that time, and what can we do to help others, help our families, have maybe more time with our families, focus on ourselves and things that we're interested in, reading, writing, being creative, maybe art projects, things that you'd like to do that you normally don't have the opportunity to. So this really is an opportunity. It just looks a little bit different, and just know how much we care about you guys and how much that we miss you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Monahan.
All right.
Yeah, hope
Thanks,
to see you soon.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
If you have any more questions that were not answered, you can go watch last night's board meeting on Seaman USG 345 YouTube channel, or you can ask your own questions on the form located on the Corona resource page on the district's homepage at seamanschools.org. Washburn Tech students need to make sure they're watching their emails daily, as your instructor will be giving you information on how classes will be online. Grab-and-go lunches will still be handed out at Logan Elementary School for children 1 to 18 from 11 o'clock to noon as a drive-through service. Starting next week, a second drive-through service will be set up at the middle school. Today's Stuco Coronation Challenge is to send a video of you doing any dance. To win a prize, post your dances on Instagram or send them to SEMA Stuco. Winners of yesterday's baking challenge are first place Andrew Patton, second place Bethany Drews, and third place Conlon Drews. Congrats to those. With no school, students have been able to come up with very creative ways to stay entertained. Let's see what you have done over the break so far.
As you know, school has been canceled for the rest of the semester, and online classes have yet to start up, leaving students with a tremendous amount of free time. So we asked students how they are spending their time over the extended break. Multiple students relax while enjoying some Netflix, while others are working or trying to get TikTok famous. Amelie Bryan even reported her car being stuck in mud for 3 days. Others are simply enjoying being able to sleep in, such as student Alex Chappis. No matter how you are choosing to spend your break, be a Viking and stay safe. Now, back to the show.
Wow, maybe I should be taking some notes to keep myself entertained. But one way students have been entertaining themselves is by participating in the SVTV 2K tournament. Here's Justin on how the first round ended up.
Hey Vikes, here's your update on the SVTV NBA 2K tournament going on right now. Round 1 is almost finished, and we have a lot of great games to tell you about. Paul George scored 65 points for McLean Finley. Cade Anderson's Luka Doncic scored 42 points. Chase Crowder and the Celtics had Kyrie score 49 points. But the story I want to talk to you about is Camden Barta and his Kings. After losing the first game to Braden Colley, Buddy Hield had an amazing performance, scoring 48 points and 3 rebounds in the home game that they had. With everything on the line, Buddy Hield had a performance that no one thought that he could have, scoring 57 points and 5 rebounds. I went to talk to Camden to see what he thought about Buddy Hield's performance. Do you plan on keeping your offense, a big Buddy Hield emphasis as your focus player, maybe even try to get him the MVP award of this tournament?
Well, I'm going to use Buddy Hield more, but I'm not going to use him as much because I've jumped myself up to first place in the MVP voting, and I started to shoot a lot with him, and then I got cold with him, so Braden actually started to come back, so I'm not going to let that happen against whoever my next opponent is. I'm going to get the offense more spread out and chance to score more points so that no one can come back.
On draft night, you missed your draft pick and you got bumped down to 26 from 19. Is that maybe a blessing in disguise because you do have the Kings and, Buddy Hield did work out so well for you tonight?
Yeah, I was going to pick the Nets at the 19th pick if they were still on the board because they have good players, but then I missed it and he gave me 4 options and I found that the Kings was the best one because they have many young players that have potential and I can maybe work with them. And it did work out a lot because Buddy had 105 points in 2 games.
Vikes, here's the updated brackets. And as you see, we will have the first round done by today, and some of the second round will even start.
Thank you, Justin. We have been streaming some of those games live here on our YouTube channel. Tune in if you're interested. After the break, we'll show you how long this cold air will stay with us.
Hey, I'm gonna go home and watch some Disney Plus. See you tomorrow. Be safe. There's supposed to be a nasty storm.
We're tracking round 2 of winter weather this week. Look at this.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hi, my name's Elias Mosier, and I used to not be able to do parkour. You see, I got so tired because I had a lack of vitamins. But with the help of salad, I've got all the vitamins I need. I can just nozzle this stuff down. Delish. And now I have all the vitamins to do all this great parkour.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Happy Friday. I hope you got out and enjoyed the nice weather we had yesterday. We actually hit our forecast high of 77 degrees at 2:31 in the afternoon. And then a cold front came through just before midnight last night. That dropped our temperatures way down, increased the wind speed out of the north, and those two factors combined to produce wind chills in the upper teens this morning. 17 degrees was the wind chill at 9:53. That is a 60-degree shock to the system. So it has been drastically colder in just a matter of less than 24 hours. And that colder feel to the air will continue throughout the rest of this afternoon and into this evening. Air temperatures will top out in the low 40s around 4 or 5 o'clock. Skies will remain clear through the evening, and then our temperatures will go down to around 33 degrees by 9 o'clock. If you're taking a late evening walk outside, that is what you can expect. And taking a look at the weekend forecast, as we go into Saturday, we'll start to warm up. 50 degrees will be the high with partly cloudy skies. Then clouds will really thicken up late Saturday into Saturday night ahead of our next storm system, which will bring rain to the area after midnight Saturday night. Low temperature of 38 degrees. And then on Sunday, rain will continue, especially during the morning. Will be cooler with a high of 45 degrees for the second half of the weekend. So let's take a look at that rain chance for you. This is as the system is departing by 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, and you can see some rain in northeast Kansas, exiting the region to the northeast, and not too far away from here is some blue on the map. That is a little bit of sneaky snowflakes trying to mix in not too far to our north. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but I think it's going to be too warm here for any sort of snow. We're expecting all liquid precipitation at this point. And the other story with this system is that the instability will be too low, unlike it was a couple of days ago, for any lightning or thunder. So we do not think we'll have to deal with any of that. And in terms of an early outlook on rainfall totals, right now it looks like about a quarter inch is a good bet for most of northeast Kansas. And taking a look at the SBTV 7-day forecast, you can see that rain chance Saturday night into Sunday. Then we're dry on Monday until late in the day into Monday night. Another storm system arrives that could bring us a few thunderstorms Monday night into early Tuesday. Otherwise, we'll start to see a big warm up as we head to the middle of next week. Check that out. Highs in the 60s on Tuesday and then 70s on Wednesday. So it is going to be feeling nice once again after we get past the next few days. That's your latest weather forecast. Now, Aaron, back to you.
Thanks, Josh. Now we'll end the show with a new segment called Corona Containment.
Oh, hi, Vikes. You know, with all the coronavirus stuff, I thought I'd wash my tiny hands. You know, we may be mandated to stay inside for a little bit and quarantine ourselves, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun and explore neat places. Come along to my house. Now, time to play epic hide and seek. Close your eyes and count to 10. Oh my god, you guys won't be able to find me. I'm so hidden. Oh, it's not there. Couldn't find me there, could ya? Now right here, you have the very dangerous and elusive cat. Now this scientific name is feline icus. The reason they're like that is because it's a feline. What? Whoa! Can you find the duct tape? Oh, we already did this? Oh. Let's just go do something else. Yeah, so this is the house, you know, nothing too crazy. I've lived here my whole life. It's pretty cool. Family home. I went to Logan just up the street and everything, you know, it's just cool and all. Elias, your wiener's out. Oh God, my wiener! Well, yeah, that's it. That's the house tour and everything. You know, we don't live in anything too crazy. We just try and live it simple, you know. Everything's good, everything's chill. So, nothing is wrong, Chase. Don't snoop into other people's properties, maybe. Oh, sorry you caught me when I was taking a nap. You know, I like to sleep out here under the stars. My family also kicked me out years ago. Buddy, no! No!
That's all for today, Vikes. Be sure to tune in next week.